Thanks for the opportunity to give you a little update. I'm Brent Bogar. I work with LoadPass. Leslie said I'm the LoadPass consultant. I do a little consulting and development work for LoadPass, but really Joelle VanderLinden is the operations manager for LoadPass, and then Gail is here too. She does a lot of the day-to-day operations of it. So you got questions about how things function, Gail and Joelle are your people to talk to, not me. But I wanted to give you a little background on LoadPass for those of you that aren't aware. We are part of Western Dakota Energy Association, and we have a governing board, advisory board, that helps make decisions. This is not something that we just do on our own. We work with the members from the cities and counties that are part of LoadPass. We also have representation for the townships, and the board members have to be a county commissioner or a sheriff or their designees. So we want people that are engaged in their local community as part of the advisory committee. Right now, this is our advisory committee: Trudy Rulin from Montreal County, Matt Johansson from McKenzie County, the sheriff. We've got Dunn County Sheriff, Al Heiser's on from Stark County, so we've got a good mix of counties throughout the state or throughout the Western Dakota Energy Association area as part of the committee members. And so we have a meeting. We actually have an upcoming meeting here in 2 weeks at the Association of Counties meeting, where this advisory committee gets together. We'll talk through issues, whether that's do we need to look at different permits? How is the system functioning? How do we improve it for the industry? How do we improve it for the county operators of the system? It's a busy system. We do a lot of permits. This last fiscal year, our fiscal year ends at the end of June, follows the state fiscal year, so June 30th. So this last fiscal year was the most permits that we've sold, 112,000 permits. That's a lot of permit activity. Obviously, it's oil and gas industry, heavily driven, but as we have expanded the system, there are other counties, and we have a map here in just a little bit to show you where all LoadPass is at in the state. It is no longer just oil and gas. And so we continue to see the volume increase. It's also a lot of permit revenue for those counties. We're looking at just over $22 million this last fiscal year that was distributed to the counties in regards to the permit activity. So it is not going to fix all of the county roads. We try to keep the permit fees reasonable, but also recognizing the impacts that those over-dimension, overweight loads do have on the roads. So as I said, it started in Western North Dakota. We had the original 19 oil and gas producing counties were the original members. But we took the system and had a couple of counties outside of the oil producing area ask if they could be on the permit system. They didn't have something in place. So Western Dakota Energy's executive committee considered that and said, why not? Why not make this available for everyone else? And so we have been adding counties. You'll see the couple of counties with the circles on them, from Pembina to Foster, Barnes, Ransom, Dickey. Those counties all have joined in the last year. Getting those on. So we're continuing to meet with the counties that are in white, have interest in a number of them. I always like to point out when I give updates on this, Cass County, obviously Cass, large county. Cass County does have interest in the system, and I'll explain in a little bit why Cass isn't on and how we're working towards getting Cass to be part of the system. But continuing to work throughout the state. We also have a couple of cities that have joined the system, from Watford City, Dickinson, and Valley City, because their road network, there's some heavy industries in their community that it's not state highway, it's city roads, and so they wanted to be able to have that permit system within their community as well. So that is a couple of other members that we have on the system. New, and this is probably the biggest update, is you're probably wondering, Wyoming, we're North Dakota. We actually had interest from a couple of counties in Wyoming about using the system. And this is actually a great thing from my perspective, that the industry working in North Dakota. A lot of the oil and gas industry in North Dakota is also active in Wyoming. They like what we have offering with the LoadPass permit system, and so they were telling the counties down in Wyoming, you need to do something like LoadPass. So the county called us and said, can we get on the system? And so myself and Joelle, we've actually made a trip out to Wyoming, met with a number of the counties, and they're interested in joining the permit system. Right now, Converse County has signed an agreement to join the permit system from our notification standpoint. We're not quite to the point of having them on the permit system for their road permits, but the notification system. And when we met with Wyoming, that was actually one of their biggest concerns, was getting information out to people, the notifications. Those of you that have been to Wyoming know winter weather down there with the winds they get can be very treacherous, and so they wanted to be able to send out notifications when they're closing their roads so that the industry knows, because they wind up spending a lot of time and effort going out to rescue people that get stranded on a road because it got blown in. And so the notification system will be up and running before the end of the year with Converse County in Wyoming. We're continuing to work with Converse County on the road permit side and the other counties in Wyoming as well. We're working with, I love Wyoming because it's WACER and WACO. The Wyoming Association of Counties is WACO, and WACER is the Wyoming Association of County Engineers. So I love their acronyms. But we're continuing to work with them. We think that it's a great opportunity for Western Dakota Energy and LoadPass to take what we've developed here and see it continue to benefit other communities as well. Text message permit status. These are some updates. Industry and counties now, you can receive the status updates on your permit via text message. It used to just be by email, or you'd have to log in and look at the system. You can go in and you can sign up so that you can get those updates by text message. A lot of people, that's just a little bit more convenient to look at that. We can also now change the trip date. You used to have to call in or submit that. Now you can do that on your own, and it will go through the approval process. But you can do all of that online now. So those are some enhancements that we've been making to the system. We're continuing to work on the axle weights. I think those that have been to this meeting over the last couple of years have heard us talk about axle weights and moving towards that. We now have the system is set up to be able to process the permits by axle weight. We're continuing to work through the fee schedule aspect because we want to make sure that the fee schedule is appropriate for the loads that are being hauled. So we're continuing to work through that fee schedule, but the system is now set up to be able to do the axle weights. So if you've got any input on that fee schedule, feel free to talk to me or to Joelle and give us your thoughts in regards to that. But why we're going to axle weights from gross vehicle weight is so that we're actually really setting those permit fees on loads that are creating more of an impact. If a load has more axles and that weight is distributed across those axles, it's less impact on the road, and so we want to make sure that the fee schedule recognizes that. Additionally, the last update point that I have, it says 3.0 updates. We're continually doing enhancements to LoadPass. You know, sometimes it's a little bug fix. It might be something someone calls in and says, hey, can we have this as a drop-down box instead of having to fill that in? We're doing those types of updates constantly on the system to make it more efficient and user-friendly. But we're also in the back end working through the entire process of the permit system. That's why we call it 3.0. We're really looking at how the workflow all processes to make sure that it all flows well together, that it's on a good updated database table. This is all data. You know, this is a program that we've been working in. It's now been over 12 years. And so if you think about technology and the changes in technology and programming, there's been a lot of changes in that world over the last 12 years, and we want to bring the system up to date so that it can be more effective, more efficient for the end users. With that, that's the quick update on LoadPass. Feel free to reach out to me, to Joelle is here, Gail is here, like I said, anytime on LoadPass. And I don't have my watch on me, but I'm guessing I got a few minutes if anyone has questions.
It's exactly 3:30.
There we go. Thanks.
Thank you.